Good evening and welcome to Open High's Open House. We are delighted that you could join us here this evening. My name is Clary Carlton and I'm the principal of Open High. And we'll just start this evening by asking everybody to turn off your cameras except for teachers. If you could stay on camera, and I'll just ask everyone to mute until it's your time to speak. And that will help with our bandwidth. So thank you very much. I want to say hi to my co-host this evening, Bridget Newberry, if you want to wave. Okay, she's going to help monitor. And Caroline DeWald is also here, our English teacher, and she is going to be monitoring our chat this evening. So if you do have any questions, you can please put them in the chat as they arise, and then we will answer questions at the end of our presentation, where we have a group of students who can hopefully answer some of those questions for you. So as I said, I am the principal here at Open, but I have taught at Open for 20 years as an English teacher. And I love Open High so very much. And I know I speak for everybody that works at Open High. We want our students to love Open High as much as we do and appreciate this very unique learning environment that we have here. We are all on a first name basis, and that can take some getting used to. So if you hear us calling each other by our first names, that is why. But it is, I think, a demonstration of the mutual respect that this school is founded on. So again, we welcome you here. We're going to give you a general overview of our program, and then teachers are going to talk a little bit about classes that they teach and just what makes Open so special. So remember, your chat is at the bottom of the screen, and you can put your questions there as you have them. We're gonna start this evening with just a short film, which does give you a little overview of our program. So if you sit tight, I will share that. It's only about 5 minutes long. And again, write down your questions if you have them.
This is Open High School. We're an alternative high school here in Richmond with so much to offer. High school can seem a little scary at first, so we want to do everything we can to make it a safe place for you. There are lots of students here that want to share their experiences and stories with you.
When I was little, the idea of high school was pretty daunting, but when I graduated from my elementary school, my neighbor started his 9th grade year at Open, and from that point on, after hearing about it, I realized that that's the place I always wanted to go. And then once I finally got that letter in the mail, it was probably one of the best feelings I ever had. And I spent like some of the best 4 years of my entire life here, so I'm really thankful for that.
I love Open because we have such a great support system, and you can always go to any of the teachers or even students or in your classmates for support, and some people are always there for you, and you always have somebody to lean on.
Open is like a second family to me. When I can't talk to my family at home, I come to the staff and they always help me out. I like the freedom that we get here. I like how independent it is. I like how we can kind of get an assignment and then get another one, but like we work on our own pace here. Kind of like that free spirit vibe. It's really chill here. You know, it just gives you room to grow as a person. That's what I like about Open.
So what I like about the school is that it's small, so you get to know everybody personally and you can build like good relationships with them and like have more trust than you would at a normal school. Like, it's really nice.
And that's what makes Open High so special. Between peers and teachers and the staff, we make one big family. We are open.
I'm open. I am open.
I am open. I am open.
I am open.
We're open. Welcome.
Okay, so that's a little overview of our school. And again, I'll just ask everyone to mute, and if you cut your camera, it may help with the bandwidth. And I'll ask teachers to stay on. We have an amazing team of educators here, and I am absolutely delighted to get to share them with you this evening. They are going to talk a little bit about classes and what makes Open so special. And again, just hold your questions for the end and we will get to all of those. So I'm going to share my screen again. And we're going to hear a little bit, let's see, from English.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Allen, and I would like to introduce to you the members of the English department, Caroline DeWald and Vic Carl. We offer 6 different English classes, including 2 electives, creative writing and public speaking. At the core of every English class is our belief that critical literacy is essential to creating informed citizens. And we believe that students are empowered when they have the skills to use language as a driver of change. Our students learn to think deeply, to question assumptions, to engage in rich discussions, to analyze arguments, and to fall in love with literature.
Thank you so much, Laura. And as a former English teacher, always an English teacher, I love hearing about language and how very important it is. So thank you. We're gonna go to math.
Hello, everyone. So in the math department is me and Irina. We have Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Math Analysis, AP Statistics, and AP Calculus, and included in a bit is AP Computer Science. And so the most important thing we want to highlight is math is not easy, but we know that we will definitely develop your mathematical skills, logical thinking, deductive reasoning, and at the end, we expect to reach AP Statistics and AP Calculus in some kind of AP course or higher level of mathematics. And I hope y'all enjoy all this atmosphere, but really we want you to know that math will be hard, and we do take it seriously, and that you will learn math.
And advanced math is part of our program here. As I hope you know, all of our students are programmed for the Advanced Studies Diploma. So that means they do need to take 4 math classes, including, usually they do take the AP classes, at least by the time they are a senior. Thank you, Richard. And now we're going to hear a little bit from our science department.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Betts. I've been a teacher at Open for 15 years, and I teach biology, AP biology, and AP environmental science at Open. And so the focus of the biology course is very much molecular, cellular, and evolutionary. And those are usually some biology concepts that students haven't seen before. We also really work to develop the integration of math, so graphing and data analysis, as well as helping students construct written explanations and defending arguments with evidence. And so we find that really important. In a typical year, we would be doing lots of labs. My freshman bio class would be on a boat in the James River, doing all kinds of things. And we have lots of great genetics lab equipment for kids to do hands-on labs. And so we are doing our best this year to compensate with virtual experiences, but we are excited for sure to get back in the classroom and be able to use all those fun toys. We have a lot of partnerships also outside of the building. So between VCU, the James River Association, and the Alliance for Chesapeake Bay, we're able to take a lot of the learning outside of the classroom as well. And we find that really important, and I think the kids really benefit from that. I do want to mention our physics teacher is Lucian Good. He's been with us for a very long time, and he does a fantastic job. And I also want to introduce our new chemistry teacher for this year, Cesar.
Thank you so much, Emily. Yes, if you didn't know it, we really miss being in the building. So we will happily welcome some of you next year to our beautiful Grace Aarons building in Oregon Hill. And we're going to hear now from social studies.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Hassenfuss. This is my 13th year at Open High School. I also want to give a shout out to my fabulous colleagues, Chad Ingold and Mary Strunk. We welcome you to Open High School in the History and Social Science Department. Our vision is really to foster critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration amongst students and prepare them to be engaged and informed global citizens. We really try our best to make history and even the present come alive to the students and help them understand how connected they are to the world. But I think 2020 has kind of done that job for us this year. We ask our students to investigate both the past and the present by evaluating multiple perspectives, analyzing primary documents, creating meaningful and innovative projects, and articulate their discoveries and beliefs in both writing and through their voices. I believe that our courses are rigorous, relevant, and real, and I think they're pretty fun too. So, and to that end, these are our current offerings: World History 1, 2, Econ and Personal Finance, and then 3 wonderful AP classes. All students in the Advanced Studies Diploma have to take 4 social studies credits, one of which has to be AP or has to be government. In addition to that, Econ and Personal Finance is a requirement for graduation. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, Mike. And I realize I left off the Real Richmond class, which is a brand new class that we are piloting this year for the city of Richmond, and our own Chad Ingold is going to be teaching that. And we're very, very excited to be able to offer that to our students, an investigation of a Richmond that is often left out of history books, but that we know is vital for our students to understand. So thank you again. And we will move to world language and Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy Alfonso, and I'm new to Open, but this is my 12th year teaching. We have, in the language department, we have Vic also, teaching Spanish as well. So I'm teaching Spanish 2, 3, and AP language and culture. Really the big emphasis is of language learning. I know it's hard as well as math, kind of same concepts. So I was building blocks of learning language. So with each course level, you move along and you deepen your knowledge of Hispanic culture and the language. And we try to improve the ability to send and receive information, right? It's about communication. And I try to make that as fun as possible with a primary focus of, you know, getting them to speak in the language as much as possible. Because if you don't use it, you're not gonna learn it as quickly. So, so my, you know, personal vision is always to get 90% of speaking in class as much as we can. So every level you just get a little bit better, hopefully, and we deepen that knowledge.
Thank you, Lucy. We also offer other languages through Virtual Virginia. So students do have access to those classes as well. And now art and the infamous Bridget Newberry. Who needs to unmute?
Yep, sure need to unmute. So hi, everybody. I'm Bridget. I've been at Open High for a number of years. We offer Art 1, Art 2, Art 3, AP Art and Design, Drawing Portfolio, 2D Portfolio, 3D Portfolio, and Deep Breath AP Art History. And we offer it all in the little room down in the basement. Basically, creativity is the core of the Fine Arts program. We do lots of project-based learning. That's basically how we operate. We do critical thinking. We do lots of critical thinking and writing skills also in our curriculum. We were involved in the real world. We're involved with lots of shows and exhibitions. And we have a special acquaintanceship and association with Art Space Gallery, which is where we submit work and show. I love what Mike said about rigorous, relevant, and real, because yeah, I think we all are that, especially in the art department. And I am absolutely thrilled to say that what we want to do is help you create your most, help you be and achieve your most creative self at Open High. Also, I do volunteer work. Again, and when it's a real situation, we have group volunteer work and individual volunteer work, and we also have senior projects, which are individual volunteer projects that evolve over the course of 2 years. So also loved what Lucy said about thinking in language. Art's a language, and what we try to do is help you think in the language of art. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bridget. And now we're going to hear from Ashley.
How can I follow that, Bridget? It was so eloquently said. Now you're making, well, okay. So I'm Ashley Hayden. I am the only PE teacher. I teach P9 as well as driver's ed for 10th grade. And of course, 10th grade health. For my class, I feel like the concentration, especially with this whole virtual learning setup, is realizing that now I have a little more concentration on the health. And so for 9th grade, we are focusing a lot on the body systems that we have. And I'm noticing that the 9th graders are now starting to realize they're all associated together. Go figure. We're all one human. That is this amazing thing that is meant to survive. And it's up to us to make sure that we keep up with it. And then for 10th grade, that focuses more on emotional learning, as well as, of course, the infamous driver's ed. Right now, my 10th graders are in driver's ed, and we're going through the boring stuff. They're like, duh, we already know this. But do you, though? Because you're not really driving just yet. They have yet to see the fun people that'll be with them on the roads. And it's up to me to make sure that they don't become those fun people. So, yep. That's me, and that's what I teach. And I'm hoping that all of my students gather that, you know, as it pertains to the PE portion, they are responsible for their own finding what works for them. Because once they leave our little nest, it's up to them to figure out what works for them. And everybody starts from a different standpoint. My athletic ability is going to be different than somebody else's. And what I'm interested in is going to be different than when somebody else is interested. I blatantly told my students, I don't care for yoga. Do everybody suggest it for me? Yes. Am I going to do it? I'll try it, but I don't care for it. So yeah, but everybody's different, and to find something that they're interested in is what matters to me and in my class.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ashley. And Micah is going to talk to us a little bit about counseling and the Early College Academy.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Micah Davis. I am the school counselor at Open High. I am tasked with helping you navigate the next 4 years, as well as helping you prepare for life beyond high school. Yes, I am the only counselor. However, my team at Open is outstanding, and they make my job so much easier. Because as you go through these next 4 years, they will also be helping you plan for life after Open. You might love it, but you can't stay. We had to have a plan for you to leave. So that's what we'll be working on. Once you set foot in our doors. One of the roles that I'm also tasked with is overseeing early college academy students. And this is where we have a select group of students. We have about 14 now, 7 juniors and 7 seniors. And you apply to this program in your sophomore year. And students are able to attend classes at Reynolds, where they're able to earn an associate's degree along with their high school diploma. So which is a huge benefit depending on where you decide to go to college, because you may be able to transfer some credit to that college you decide to attend. The program, the courses are already selected for you. It's already programmed. So we have students now who are working hard as they navigate these college courses, but your classes will be in the morning. And for our juniors, they'll have their classes with Open in the afternoon. And the same thing for most of our seniors as well. So this is a program that you are interested in. It's, again, your sophomore year, you'll be able to apply, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding Early College Academy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Micah. And finally, we're going to talk with Chad and Vic about some of the other things that make Open special.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Chad Ingold, and not only being a history teacher, I, along with Vic, am the sponsor for student government at Open High School. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we run some of that. The smallest form of community government at Open High School is our family groups. We split all the students into mixed class groups among 10 different teachers. And then we have 10 different families, kind of like 10 different houses. And that we meet weekly. We meet weekly usually in community circles. We spend time talking about what's going on in the school, catching people up on what's going on. Each family head acts as a sort of assistant counselor slash assistant principal slash advocate for the student if they need to go and address any problems around the school. And then family is also the smallest form of, the most intimate form of government, maybe you could say. And then each family elects 2 student representatives who represent the school in a reps meeting. And then we get together once a month as a school in a town meeting, which is much like traditional town meetings are when they hold them in the political sphere. We get together and not only do we discuss and vote on issues for the school, but we have time for students to showcase their talents, their skills, things that are special to them. And it's also another great time to have guest speakers come in and address the whole school at one time. And usually those happen at the Richmond Public Library in the basement auditorium. And then we plan certain events that distinguish Open High School. And then we try to keep a tradition of yearly events that we have. We have every year a pumpkin decorating contest between the houses. We have a Halloween celebration called Day in the Park when we go to the Maymont Park. And we have a bunch of team building, interclass activities and costume contests. And then we usually have a Thanksgiving celebration during Thanksgiving during the last day where everybody brings in potluck food, or at least that's what we have done. And then in the before the holiday break, as a whole school, we usually volunteer somewhere and we either split up or we go somewhere as a whole school and we give one day towards something in the community. In the previous 2 years, we've gone to Chimborazo Elementary School and provided them with a winter festival before they went on break. And then moving into the spring, we have a spring project that's similar. And then we end the year with a student, teacher, parent barbecue cookout. So I think that covers that. So I'll pass it over to Vic, who is also my co-facilitator for the student government.
Hi, everybody. I'm Vic Carl. And yeah, so excellent job, Chad, talking about how we really want to focus on having student input in the way that our school runs. An example of that this year is that the students felt the lunch break was too short. And so we tried to adjust the schedule to make sure that students were having the best possible experience that they could during this very strange time that we're in. I want to talk to you about electives. So typically on Thursdays at our school, we would have normal classes in the morning, and then the afternoon would be dedicated to electives. One of the things that makes Open High so incredibly special as a teacher is that I am given the opportunity, as are all of my colleagues, to teach something outside of our normal planned classes and show students what else we're passionate about. We have podcasting classes and crocheting classes and music appreciation courses. So every teacher gets to decide 2 classes that they would like to teach. We have beekeeping, which has been amazing. We have 2 or 3 hives now. And so it's a wonderful opportunity for the kids to see the teachers as whole people as well, not as just as a cardboard cutout of one distinct, subject, that we are inherently, dynamic people as well. And we want to see that from them. And we also give students the opportunity to teach Thursday classes. And they've come up with truly terrific classes in the past. I've seen dancing courses and Young Democrats is happening this year. So this year, because we are in a virtual environment, we've kind of shaken that a little bit, and we are offering clubs on Friday afternoons of things that teachers have come up with. But hopefully next year we'll be back in the building and we'll get back to having some more hands-on activities. Another part that's very important to our school that we started a few years ago is our international travel. So I am the group leader for international travel. I took 36 students to Europe in one go. Those of us that were on that trip know how exhausting that was, but it was absolutely fabulous. And last year we went to Costa Rica, a group of 16 kids, and had a Spanish immersion trip there. We have two trips coming up. We are going to Athens and Rome this coming summer, and the following summer we're taking an adventure trip to Belize. So it's an important part. We want our students to get a cultural perspective outside of just, you know, the city of Richmond. We want them to see how other people live and experience that. I know for me personally, travel has changed my life, and I know that it's a great opportunity for students as well. Bridget talked about volunteering. We do require students to complete 120 hours of volunteering while at their school. Bridget does a fantastic job of showing opportunities for volunteering, and we really want them to do it in something that they love. You know, if you want to work with animals, you know, volunteer at the SPCA. We've had students volunteer in medical facilities and elementary schools and elderly care facilities. We really want to connect them with the right volunteering opportunity for them as well. So thank you so much. It really is just the most special, beautiful place. I couldn't be happier to work. I wouldn't want to work anywhere else.
And I think Vic speaks for a lot of us who have been at Open for a while, although we have some new teachers, and we're so excited to welcome them to, again, this very special place that is Open High. I'm just going to review a little bit about the application process. Everything is on the RPS site, and you can see the link is right there. There's also a link on our homepage. The deadline for applications is December 1st, and our selection criteria is pretty straightforward. We do look at grades and GPA. We do evaluate students' writing with a short answer and an essay this year, and those are common writing prompts for all the specialty schools. So we are trying to streamline the process because we know in the past that has been an issue navigating the system. So it should be improved. We do also ask for 2 teacher recommendations, and we do hold interviews with students, and those are planned for January and will most likely be virtual, but we will, of course, be in touch about scheduling those interviews. I should say that we have, as usual, 50 spots for our 9th grade class, and we generally have about 5 spots for our sophomore class. We are a very small school, so our building capacity is 200, and right now we have 188 students plus staff. We're really over capacity, and we know that there are so many qualified students who do apply to Open, and we really wish we could accept more. Our space is small. But we do the best we can with what we have. So right now, let's see, I'm gonna stop sharing. And I want to turn this over for some question and answers. I've been asking Caroline to keep check in with the chat, and we do have a group of students. Jessica, are you here? Can you wave and unmute yourself?
Hi, I'm here. I have my camera on for a second, but I will be turning it on in a few minutes.
Okay, that's great. And Wilbur is here? I think Wilbur. Great. Hi,
yeah,
Wilbur.
hi.
And we've got Felix. There's Felix. Say hi to everybody. And Gabby is also, I think, here. There's Gabby. So, you know, we always like our students to speak for us. They are why we love this place as much as we do. So I thought if they can answer questions, any questions that they can't answer, we certainly will. I thought, you know, we might just start out by asking you guys what you like about open, and then we'll start with the chat and Caroline. Wilbur, do you want to start us off? What do you like about open?
Yeah, hi. So what is there not to like about open? I mean, open is incredible. You have so much freedom here, like I'm just reinstating what they say in the video. Um, you have so much freedom here at Open. Everybody is so compassionate, and there's a lot of family bonding here at Open. I've heard from a lot of my senior friends, because you do get really connected with different grades. Once they leave, some are extremely upset because they've made such bonds over the years, but it's life. It's how it goes, unfortunately. But I, if I needed to change anything at Open, I wouldn't change it. Open is incredible, and I am privileged and delighted to be here.
And we love having you here, Wilbur. And Wilbur is a sophomore this year. Gabby, you want to tell us a little bit about why you like Open?
Sure. I'm a senior. I'll start that out with that. I really like just all the freedom we get. And really, it's a small school. Everyone knows everyone. I've had almost every teacher here. I mean, they all know me. I know so many people from other grades too. It's just nice to be in a small school where everyone's like connected and you can really talk to anyone. And it's just cool to be so connected and with all of your classmates or people you go to school with.
Great. Thank you, Gabby. Felix, what can you tell us about your experience?
I really like that there's a lot of like mutual respect. You know, we are on a first name basis with everyone and they trust us with a lot of things, which I think is really important, like developing that trust with the mutual respect between teachers and students, and they expect from us and we expect from them. And so I really enjoy that. And I enjoy that it's sort of non-traditional. I think when I went into high school applications, I had a lot of misconceptions about open and I had a lot of like set ideas about what I wanted, but now I realize that this was definitely the right choice for me. And I wouldn't really change anything except that I miss being in person with everyone. I miss Emily's labs. I just miss being able to see everyone.
Yes, and we miss you so much. And Jessica, what can you tell us? You're in ECA, so you might tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yes, hi, I'm Jessica. I'm a senior and I am currently in ECA and I really enjoy it. I think it's really pushing me to challenge myself, I guess you would say. And I don't think you would receive that in other schools. I know other schools do ECA, but I think here at Open, you really have this family that helps you not just keep pushing yourself, but actually completing the stuff you want to complete and are holding you accountable to that. So I really enjoy that.
Thank you so much. Oh, they're amazing. We're very lucky educators, I have to say. Caroline, what kind of questions do we have?
We have some wonderful questions. I'm going to go backwards, so I promise I will get to everybody's questions. But the first question was to our students. I wanted to ask, what is a typical day like? That was asked. So why don't we throw it to Wilbur first, and then we can kind of go around. What's a typical day at Open like?
I don't know if you meant virtually or in person, but I guess I'll just answer the in-person part. Sorry. So in person, a typical day is we normally have 6 blocks. I'm sorry, I don't remember this. It's been so long since we've been in person. But we have typical classes. English, we have our 4 core classes. And then we have even and odd days here at Open where you would typically change between, you keep on saying a lot and I'm really trying not to say that. You would typically change between your, I wouldn't really call them elective classes, but you would change between, let's say gym, and Spanish, you would have one day and the other day. And you would normally have core classes, one on one day and the other on the other day. So it changes with every day, pretty much. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry.
No, Wilbur, thank you. You're doing a great job. And I don't know if anybody else, any of our other students wanted to talk a little bit about what Thursday days are like, because they're a little bit different than the other days of the week when we're in person. Felix, Gabby, Jessica, do any of you want to take that question? Gabby, I saw your hand.
I'll talk about it. Thursdays are great because you only have your 2 morning classes, and then there are 3 blocks, and one of those is your lunch. So you do your 2 morning classes, have lunch, and then you choose 2 Thursday classes. And then after Thursday classes, typically it's either you have a family meeting anyway. You have a family meeting, and then there are 3 options. It's an extended family meeting, a class meeting, or a town meeting. A class meeting is basically just you and your grade just talk about what volunteer things you can do or fundraising things you can do. Town meetings with the whole school, Chad described it, and families like basically homeroom, but with every grade.
Great, thank you, Gabby. This might be more of a question for Clary or people that are more involved with admissions, but a few people asked what the acceptance rate is or how many applications do we typically get?
We usually have about 350 to 400 applications. So the acceptance rate, I think, is around 28%, I think I remember. We just don't have many spots. So it is competitive. But as I've mentioned, and I always say, we do have so many qualified applicants here in Richmond. And we wish we could accommodate more.
Thank you, Clary. Earlier, this might be a question for the Spanish department, but Bree Lefkowitz asked if a student has already completed Spanish 2, is it possible to take 4 years of Spanish at Open? And Vic is shaking her head now.
You know, unfortunately, no. If a kid comes in having taken Spanish 2, they have the option for Spanish 3, 4, and AP. So at most, they could take 3 years. However, if that student decides to go into the ECA program, they would be doing Spanish through J. Sargent Reynolds. We also, you know, we try to provide opportunities for students wherever we can. And if there is a course at a local community college, we will work that into their schedule. If, you know, of course, we want our students to move towards fluency. So we'll do whatever we can.
Thank you, Vic. I have another question for the students, also from Bree. What are some of the electives you have taken that you enjoyed? Maybe we can start with Felix or Jessica. Do either of you want to start that conversation?
I can. I think electives wise, like Thursday classes included, I loved debate class. That was really awesome. I took that twice, which was kind of greedy of me to take it twice since there are so many people interested, but I really liked that class. As far as electives, I'm trying to think of what I've taken. I'm trying to think. I think AP Human Geography is technically an elective. I really like that class. Thursday classes are all great.
Thank you, Felix. Does anybody else want to talk about a specific elective class they've taken that they've enjoyed? I know you've enjoyed it.
Well, we don't have as many as electives as a normal school, but we do have some. I really enjoyed AP Spanish. I know that when I took it, it was the first year being taught, so we were kind of like trial and error. But it was really fun. I think I learned so much about it, and being that Spanish was my first language, it was kind of fun learning new stuff about it and constantly finding something new, and like not just the language, but the culture that we were talking about. And many of the other electives were also academic. Like I took AP Hug, like Felix said, which was also fun learning about different stuff because it was kind of different from the other histories I was taking, because at first we talked about globally, and then I went straight to US history. So I think it was fun to learn about the different cultures, about not just the United States and not just the history of the United States.
Thank you, Jessica. Gabby or Wilbur, did you have anything to add? It's okay if you don't, it's fine. Totally fine. Okay, wonderful. So thank you guys. We were asked, can students take classes at the Tech Center? Yes, they can. And how does this impact your classes? I'm not sure.
What I can say about Richmond Technical Center, our students can take classes there. Again, we always want our students to pursue their passions. Sometimes there are scheduling conflicts with other classes, so the selection may be more limited, but there is a bus that does come to Open and picks students up and then returns them.
And Clary, this might also be a question for you, but Drew F. asked, if a student is applying to a governor's school and to Open High, can the same recommendations be used for both, or are different recommendations submitted separately?
I do think there are some differences with the governor's school process. I know that all the recommendations can be used for all the specialty schools, so I don't want to speak for the governor's schools. There are some differences.
Sorry, as well as, do all students who apply get invited for an interview?
We like to see a completed application, and if we see that, yes, we will invite you to an interview. And the interview is conducted by a team. A team consists of at least one teacher, and 2 students are also involved in that process.
Thank you, Clary. And is there band as an extracurricular class? There isn't one currently. I don't know if there has been one in the past, but there is guitar classes with Laura has taught some guitar classes in the past, some Thursday classes. I know that. And if there is a class that your student is interested in musically, you can always see if you can find a teacher who's interested in teaching that. And I thought I saw Bridget, your hand. Go right ahead, Bridget.
Sure. I just wanted to say that if you are in the marching band, for example, we do allow that because that's usually after school. We've had students at George Wythe and Armstrong marching band, that sort of thing. Or if you're in orchestra somewhere, or if you're in at sometimes VCU, the student orchestra, all those things can be kind of swooshed into your schedule, and it does work. And you do get, some cases get credit for that, but not necessarily.
Yes, we very much encourage students to take advantage of programs offered at their zone schools. You know, we are small, so there are limitations to what we can offer, but any student can participate in sports at their zone school or band, cheerleading, things like that. And we want students to take advantage of those opportunities. And I know that Vic has also talked about starting an Open High band. So
I am so ready for that. I am so ready. Let's go.
Love the enthusiasm. Yes, and somebody asked if there are any sports teams. There's no like organized sports teams at Open High, but like Clary just said, we encourage you to take sports at your zone school, or sometimes there are athletic themed Thursday classes, elective classes. We had running last year. I know there's been basketball in the past and things like that. So again, it's interest-based for teachers as well as students. So if your child is interested, bring it up to a teacher and it might happen. Let's see. 2 questions. Oh, this is one for our students. So what has been your most challenging class? Anybody want to start off that, that conversation?
AP Calculus for sure. It's great. I love it, but it's so hard.
Anyone else challenging classes? Most challenging class?
I would say chemistry is my hardest class, but I would say that with the idea that also like teachers are really trying to do their best to make sure that you understand everything, and they're willing to offer tutoring. You know, we have tutoring from VCU, and the teachers, we have office hours in this virtual format. So I think Cesar has been really good at making sure he's good at answering questions and making sure that I understand.
Wonderful.
For me personally, I think it was physics. I really enjoyed the class, but I think it was kind of I just don't know. Science was never my strongest suit. It was just different. And then the pandemic happened like mid third semester. So after that, I was not able to keep learning. And then we did have the ingenuity, but it was just not working for me. So I would say physics.
I think that was difficult for everybody, Jessica. You're not alone there. Wilbur, what was your most challenging class?
For me, it was probably chemistry as well. Last year we had Chris, and he did a great job at teaching it, but like Jessica was saying, the pandemic hit like right at the end of it, so we never actually finished learning. And like she said, Edgenuity is not the best learning alternative. So chemistry was pretty tough.
Yeah, I think chemistry is hard too. So I don't blame you. Let me see. And another general question, are X-mission data online? I'm not entirely sure.
Perhaps it's admission data?
X-mission data? Maybe.
Everything. Yeah, everything that you need to apply is through the RPS Enroll portal. It's called Smart Choice, and it is very user-friendly, and it does walk you through the process. If you go to the site, the RPS site, they actually have some screenshots to help you walk through the process. And I do know we do have another virtual information night to support folks to walk them through that process. Of course, if you have any questions at all about the admissions process, you can call the school at 780-4661. And I think I saw Ryan, and she has another number. Is Ryan still here?
Oh, I'm sorry, Clary. There was a clarification in the chat about that question. Okay. I apologize for misinterpreting. The clarification was X-missions is what I refer to for where the kids go to college, for example, where they applied, where they are accepted, and where they matriculated.
So Micah, do you want to say anything about that? Is Micah still with us?
Sure. Yeah, I'm still here. Sure. Our students are across the country. Recently, students going to, Penn State, VCU, University of Richmond. So we put out a profile where you can see where our students have gone. So that's information that we can provide for you if you're looking for a list of where our students have gone after leaving open.
Thank you, Micah. Would this be different from the STEM program at RTC?
Yes, it is different. Micah, do you know more about that? I really don't. I know they do also have an information open house night.
Mm-hmm. And with STEM is concentrated in a couple of programs, one with engineering and the other with therapeutic services. And with that particular program, students are at the tech center for the morning, and then they may take another core class there as well, which kind of doesn't work with our program because we would like our students in the building, especially in the morning, unless they're in the ECA program, to be able to participate in all the activities that we do. And even though we may have some students that go to the tech center for a course, the STEM Academy requires the student to be there for at least half of the day, every day.
Thank you, Micah. Let me see. Yes, and Drew F asked similarly what colleges are seniors applying to. So there is a profile available if you're interested in that information. But Micah listed a few earlier as well. Lena Cohen asks, is there a possibility that dance could be part of someone's curriculum? Again, it's teacher and student interest, or I definitely could see dance as a possibility for a Thursday class. I'm a dance teacher myself by night. And so it's all student interest and things like that. So if you can find a teacher to teach it on a Thursday, that's a possibility. I know there was some like kinesthetic movement in science last year. That was really interesting. And Ashley, I don't know if dance is at all part of health and PE. I'm not sure. Might be a little difficult virtually, but I don't know if that's a possibility at all.
I count it as activity for kids. As I mentioned, I want them to do some form of activity. And if it's dancing around, then toot, you're burning calories. So I could be fine with that.
Wonderful.
One of the great things about our Thursday program is that we do bring in people from the community to teach classes. So we are always looking for folks who can bring our students new experiences. And we regularly have students from VCU Honors College that also teach classes on Thursdays. And as someone else mentioned, they also provide tutoring for us, which has been a wonderful asset.
Yes, definitely. We were asked, what's the interview like? What kind of questions are asked? And what are you looking for in the interview?
Yeah, so we're looking for students who are well-rounded. We are looking for students with the potential to grow. And we want students who want to learn. Most of our students like school, and these are teenagers. As some people said, some of them don't want to leave us, and they regularly come back to visit. So it is a school for people who like school. We often say we're just a bunch of nerds here who like to learn, and that's what we want for our students, is just joy in learning. That doesn't mean we're going to make straight A's and everything. We think it's okay to struggle in a class. That struggle is an important part of learning. And we want to make students feel okay with that. So there's not any one thing that we look for, but that ability to grow and just students that have a growth mindset, I'd say is one of the most important things that we do look for.
Thank you, Clary. And Ezra asked, how much homework do you typically have? So I think that this is going to generally vary by class, of course, but I don't know if any of our students here wanted to speak to that, how much homework you typically have here.
I would say it varies, but it's definitely manageable. And I think teachers will know if it gets too much, they'll adjust if you let them know.
Are we in agreement on that? Yeah, typically. That's good. When are admissions decisions announced, and do you have a wait list?
We do have a wait list. I do have a date. I want to say it's in March, but it might take me a second to find that in my home classroom here, but I might be able to put my hands on it. So the admissions does close in December 1st. And I know it is on the RPS website. We've gone through multiple dates, but I want to say it is March for those decisions to be made. In the past, we have done shadowing where students have an opportunity to come to the school. We're certainly not planning any of those in-person events right now. So we may have a virtual event. Again, this is not by choice. We want to make sure that it's safe for everyone to come back. But we will have some opportunity for students to look a little bit more closer at our school and our program. And I'm keeping an eye on time. We are just about at 7 o'clock. Do we still have more questions, Caroline?
We do. Just a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, just let's see. Sorry, I lost my place real quick. Wendy Bowman asked, is College Academy the only way for students to take community college classes? In past years, were classes at Reynolds available for all open high school students?
There have been some changes with regard to that. Students can take concurrent classes. And Micah, I don't know if you want to say a little bit more about that.
Right, so mainly it's going to be through Early College Academy, with any students that would like to pursue a course that we don't offer at Open. We have to go through a little more work to get that approved, but it's definitely something that we could discuss if that's a part of the academic plan.
So the difference now as compared to a number of years ago is RPS will only pay for students who are taking these community college classes through ECA. So a concurrent class could be taken, but it would be at the expense of the family.
Teresa Slayton wants to know where they can find the open house presentation. Is that available?
Yes, this will be recorded. It will be available on the Open High website as well as the RPS website.
Don't start. Mind your business.
So Clary, I don't know if you froze for anybody else, but I only heard the last second of that. Did you say available on the RPS website?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure that's what you.
RPS and the Open High website.
And the Open High.
I was Ashley talking to her dog, if you were wondering.
They heard something outside, and obviously they thought it was there, so they definitely needed to mind it. Excuse me. Good thing this is recorded, just so you know. Dog Mom of the Year.
And these are all the challenges I think many of us know. If you have a student that is looking at 9th grade, you are perhaps experiencing virtual learning as well. And it is a real challenge. I have to tell you, I have been so impressed by this amazing staff at being able to do what has never been done before. And I am very thankful, but we don't want to keep doing it if we don't have to. We very much want to be back in our building.
Yes, I think everybody feels that way. Michael asked if an 8th grader has to apply now or next year, and I can go ahead and answer that and say that if you're in 8th grade now, you should be applying now for 9th grade next year. And I wanted to end it on a really heartfelt sentiment that Drew F. put in the chat, just so that all the teachers hear this in case they didn't read it. But it says, just have to send a heartfelt note of appreciation to all the teachers. It's clear all of you really care about your students. My child isn't in high school yet, but teaching during this pandemic is an amazing, amazing thing. So thank you for what you do. And I know I can speak on behalf of all the staff on the sincere appreciation we have for that message. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And that concludes the questions that are in the chat right now.
Wonderful. Well, we will wrap this up, and I thank you all so much for coming. Again, this has been recorded and it will be posted. But again, you can find out a lot more information on our website, and please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. Contact information is on the website as well. We love our school and we are delighted to tell you more about it. So please have a wonderful evening and stay safe.